Hey, curious minds. Welcome back to Unusual. Facts 101, the go-to place for mind-bending stories from the annals of world. And today, get ready for a jaw-dropping journey into the unknown as we unravel the mysteries behind the shortest war ever recorded. Trust me, this one's a historical blink and you miss it moment.
Zanzibar was an island off the coast of East Africa that had a prosperous trade in spices and slaves. In the late 19th century, it became a British protectorate, meaning that the British had the final say in its foreign policy and administration. The British wanted to abolish slavery and promote their economic interests in the region, but they faced resistance from some of the Zanzibari sultans and merchants who benefited from the status quo. The war was sparked by the death of Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini on August 25, 1896. He was a British ally who had agreed to follow their advice on his foreign policy. However, when he died, his nephew Khalid bin Bargash seized the throne without the consent of the British. The British preferred Hamoud bin Mohammed, another nephew of Hamad, who was more favorable to their interests. According to the agreement of 1890, the British consul had to approve any candidate for accession to the Sultanate, and Khalid had not fulfilled this requirement. The British considered this a breach of the treaty and a threat to their influence in Zanzibar. The British demanded that Khalid step down and let Hamoud take his place. They gave him an ultimatum: surrender by 9 a.m. on August 27, 1896, or face the consequences. Khalid refused and prepared for a fight. He gathered about 2,800 men, including his palace guard, some slaves, and some mercenaries. He also had a royal yacht, 2 smaller boats, and several artillery pieces and machine guns at his disposal. He barricaded himself in the palace and hoisted the Zanzibar flag. The British had a naval force of 5 warships, commanded by Rear Admiral Harry Rawson. They also had the support of the Zanzibar Sultan's army and the local residents, who were mostly opposed to Khalid's rule. They had about 1,050 men, including 150 Marines and sailors. The British opened fire at 9:02 a.m., targeting the palace and the boats. The bombardment was intense and accurate, and soon the palace was on fire, the boats were sunk, and the artillery was silenced. Khalid realized he had no chance of winning and fled the palace, seeking refuge in the German consulate. The British ceased fire at 9:40 a.m. and declared the war over. The war lasted between 38 and 45 minutes, making it the shortest war in history. The war resulted in about 500 casualties on the Zanzibar side, while only 1 British sailor was wounded. The war also marked the end of Zanzibar's independence and the beginning of its status as a British protectorate. The British quickly placed Hamoud in power at the head of a puppet government. Khalid received asylum in the German consulate before escaping to German East Africa, in the mainland part of present Tanzania. The war also had implications for the relations between Britain and Germany, as the latter was accused of supporting Khalid and violating the agreement of 1890.